查了一下字典啊，它浙林湖，但说呢，当地呢把它叫
这
乍林
is
湖。
not a
我们今天来到
often
这个地
used
方
word
呢，一会
in
儿呢我们
Chinese
还会
language,
去更深的一些地
and
方，
in
带大
local
家领略一
language
下
it
这
is
个
referred to
中
as
国最美的湖
Zhelin.
光山
So
色
they
啊。但
changed
是
a
我
little
们
bit
第
of
一站呢，我们要介绍
pronunciation.
一个地方，就
And
是我
later
们
we
身后的
will
这一座
bring you
看似
a
不起眼的一
report
个大
in
坝。
depth. But
当然
first,
说
we'd
它
like
看
to
似不起眼
introduce
呢，
to
是
you
因为
one
它
place,
跟现在的很多这种水利设施相比呢，
a
的
dam,
确呢显得比较
not
小，
very
比
outstanding.
较陈旧一些啊。
Compared with other
这个
modern
大坝呢已经有
facilities for
从
the
58年
water
开始建，到
control,
现在已
it's
经是
relatively
60年了，
old
正好一个甲子啊。 60 年
and
这座大坝
small.
为什么要特别介绍这座大坝呢？啊，它叫浙
Until
林大坝
now,
大土坝，因为它是
It
刚
has
才我们
60
看到
years of history. Why it is interesting to see this? Because it is an earth
它
dam.
的这个面积是形容它的体积，大呢它算不上，我看它这个体积跟现在的坝比呢，可能包括我们之前去的宜昌的这个三峡大坝。
We say it is a big dam,
但是我们说
mainly
它呢，主要是
based
说它
on
是
its water collection
在
area.
58年的
But the
10万
total size
这
of
个
the
建
dam
设
itself is not very
肩
big,
挑手扛
and is
一层一层
also
垒
an
起来这样一
earth
个土
dam.
坝。经过60年的风风雨雨啊，现在依然是
During the
巍然屹立。
1980s,
这
the
座土坝
workers
的
they
在
have
整个
worked
庐
with
山西海
only
景区，它
their
的意义呢，就
hands
是它相当于一
and
个老祖
their
宗，没有这
physical
座土
power
坝，
to
把这个
bring
人工水库建
the
起来呢，
raw
就没有
materials
今
together
天
for
的
the
庐山
construction.
西海这一片中国最美的湖光山色。
Without the earth dam, we cannot
现在船
have
上
the
我们可以下去
reservoir,
进去看一下
and
这个大
neither
坝。
could we have this beautiful
这
scenic
是一个，
spot,
这是
which
当
is
地的，
the
这是一
Lushan
个什么船？
Xihai.
是打鱼吗？不是打鱼。
This is a boat for fishing.
哎，慢点啊！等一下，船离开了，船离开了。哎，好，你就留在上面吧。好，我们现在看一下这个大坝，这个后面这个水泥应该是后面，后期
So
裹上去的吧？
let us have a closer look at the dam.
六面体这个是为了防止水渗。
The cement comes from the later preparation, right?
当时是土坝，后面就是后面在
Is to avoid the entrance of the water.
保护
At the very beginning of the construction, it's only an earth dam, but finally we have
对，可见我们当时这个
coated the
工艺还
dam
是非
with
常的
cement.
厉害的，因为这个人工打造的这种大坝啊，包括我们看中国历史上人工打造的一些
And we
东西啊，
can
它这个
still
质量都
tell
非常
that
好的。我们说
with an artificial power only, we have constructed a very strong, consolidated dam.
可能有人会说
And the same example could be found with the Great War. Only with manpower, we have succeeded
它这个工程质量
in
本
building
身的
up
问
such
题。
a strong
那
building.
这座大坝呢，其实到现在为止呢，依然发挥着它很大的作用。
The quality of
下
the
面有一个电厂
engineering project itself is very good, and today it is playing a very important role
一年大概6.9个亿。
because we are using the water force to generate electricity.
大半个地区居民用户可以用电。
And each year we can have a production of 690 million kilowatts of electricity that can cover the whole consumption of electricity in the city of Zhejiang. And the power is used in agriculture,
对，它
animal husbandry,
除了农田灌溉以外
irrigation,
呢，还肩负着
and
这个
people's
九
daily
江
life.
市一大半的发电量啊。可以说这座大坝呢，
And
经过
apart
60
from the
年了，可以说是对
irrigation
九江市的这
of
个
the
经济发展
farmland,
立下的汗马。
this big dam,
好，我们现在沿
after
这个大坝往
60
前走啊。
years,
看
it's still contributing to the power generation of
远
the
处呢有一个
Zhejiang
地方，有一
city.
个地方就是我们下一站要去的一个地方。
So
不知道
let's
现在能不能
walk
看到
around
是一座
in the big
人
dam.
工的99米高的一个玻璃的观光塔，那是我们下一站要去的地
At
方。
distance, you
这
can
是
see
应该是一段
our next
心跳
stop.
之旅啊，它是纯
That is
玻
a
璃的。
glass sightseeing tower with a height of 99 meters. And there you could
还有一个
have a very exciting experience up high.
99公斤以下的可以上的。
And those people who are afraid of height are not recommended to
对，我们来之前
mount
呢说这个
onto that
浙林大坝，它是这个亚
99-meter
洲第一土坝，
glass
但是也有一些争议啊。
sightseeing tower.
网上说这个
And
亚
talking
洲
about
第一土
the
坝是
Zhelin
有说毛
Dam, it is considered as the biggest earth dam in Asia.
统计口径不一样啊，所以这个呢意义不大。我们说它这个土坝呢，主要是说，这个浙林大坝在整个庐山西海景区它的一个重要的意义。那我们今天呢，其实我们看这个
that we have calculated the size of 2 different dams in different ways.
它其实呢
And
是
we
这
are
个
climbing the stairs,
建设者，
and we have Mr. Tan, Senior Tan, waiting for us. He is one of the constructor of the dam,
历史沧桑那种感觉。
and
刚才我们从
he
这
still
个
holds a deep feeling for this dam.
过的时候，有点像那种古代的那种战壕一样那种感觉啊，谭老，您当年是
Just now, when we pass by the top of the dam, we can feel that it looks like some ancient buildings. Mr. Tan, so you have participated in the construction of the dam, right? Yes. I was at that moment a senior scholar working in the countryside, and according to the orders of the national leaders, I've been sent to this part of the city to build up the dam. It was hard work, right? Yes. We only have very simple facilities to help us to carry all the materials. We don't have machines to do all the constructing work. Because in the 1960s,
那时候是这个质量第一，不光要快，而且还保证质量。10万人，就是周
the
边
conditions were very difficult. However, you have succeeded in maintaining a good
有1万人，
quality of the dam. Yes, because we always think that security and quality should be put in the first place. And we are working like a military team, like a military group. We have been separated into different smaller sections. Before the construction of the dam, do you have similar beautiful scenery like this? No.
这个黑心墙就没办法做了，是吧？
Because you have to construct the dam when it is dry season. Once there is a lot of water in the channel, you cannot start the work. And you didn't expect such beautiful scenery before the construction, right? Exactly. Because at the beginning, it is aimed to be a flood control facility and also for irrigation in the farmland. And in the past, it's important to first have the electricity supply and water. Irrigation water is one of the major factors to the success of agricultural output. We never imagined after several decades we could have this beautiful scenery and we can have the agricultural, tourism, and a very good environment. We've never imagined this point. And the protection of the water is also well accomplished. Until the Wuling district, the quality is always in such good level. And water is very clear. And according to Senior Tan, in the North Song, the dynasty, one of the scholar Huang Qingjian is important official for the management of water. And he himself has also never met this beautiful scenery. If in the dynasty of North Song, maybe the scholar Huang Qingjian could write more poems to describe and to admire this beautiful scene. Time has changed very fast and significantly, especially after the foundation of the new China. The world, the society has totally changed. For how many years you have not been here? For last year and this year, the Commission of the Management of this Lushan Xihai has organized the meetings. I myself was also invited to participate in the meeting. So you could be very proud to tell them that you have the beautiful sea, the beautiful Xihai Lake. It's thanks to our construction of the dam. At that moment, I was 20 years old or so, very young. And for the whole day, 20 hours, we have 3 groups working in a consecutive way. So for each team, 8 hours of work per day. Then you could have your work noted down. Every day you have to go to the work field. You don't have a vacation and you don't have a lot of time to take a rest. And for dear viewers, with your mobile phone, maybe you cannot have a very authentic feeling of the big size of the place. And here, the whole storage of the reservoir is 8 billion cubic meters. And here, the catchment area is nearly 10,000 square kilometers. A lot of smaller rivers go into this river. I don't know whether you have already detected the water. Maybe it could be considered as the mineral water. And over there, down there is the power generation center. It has a history of more than 40 years. It's not a big factory, but it's playing an important role for flood control, for irrigation, and it is also a big connection part for the transmission and distribution of electricity connecting the Jiangxi Province and Hunan Province. So it has an important strategic position. And it is also stabilizing the network of electricity supply, and it plays an important role in the differentiation of the use of electricity. Now let's look at the image collected by the drones. After the visit on the dam, we're about to take the car to the port to show you a more beautiful place. From this site, you could just admire the beautiful scenery.
我们就上车去码头吧，我们去云深不知处的这个西海景区的内部，去带大家领略一下这个。
And we are moving toward the inner part of the Xihai area to see the most beautiful scenic spots with lakes and mountains in China.
我们沿途可以看一下，好多。沿途可以看一下这个。我们现在可以看这个大坝，其实不是很长。我们现在可以看这个大坝。我们现在上车了。
From here, you could tell that the total length is not very big here on the dam. I need to check the quality of the voice inside the vehicle. Okay, no response. Maybe everyone are attracted by this beautiful scenery. The height of the dam is about 70 meters, and each layer is being there by manpower only. And over there, which mountain is that? No, even local people don't know the name. I don't know if someone of our viewers come from the place, so you could share with us the name of that mountain. And when you are communicating with the local people, you should not use the name Zhelin. You should use Zhalin so that they can understand you. Now we are moving down from the dam top. Usually people are not allowed to visit the inside part of the reservoir, and we have got a permission to come inside and have the interview. During the construction, we have more than 100,000 young people coming to contribute to this building up of the dam, and they have spent years of their youth in the work. To reach the port, we need to ride for another 10 minutes, and alongside the road, you could see the surrounding environment, and the conditions are not very good. And you could still imagine what the environment could be 60 years ago. People have to mount the small hills, and they have to carry the very heavy materials only by shoulder pulls. I've got some pictures to the old photos to show you. Oh, it's not very clear, so forget it. And now we are driving in among the trees. This is an exit. We could see a national scenic spot with Lushan Xihai. This is the electricity generation station that we have mentioned before. It has a very huge catchment area, as much as 10,000 square kilometers. From one point to another point, we need to take the car. And today, by our program, we could show you one possible way to visit the locality. So first, you could see the origin of the Lushan Xihai area, that is the dam. You could see why we could have this beautiful scenery in the Xihai area. It is because at the beginning we have constructed this big earth dam. And there's a communication with us saying it's called Xihai of Lushan, but it's rather far away from Lushan. Or maybe it is a strategy the tourism agency has used to attract more visitors, because Lushan is so famous in the country. If you attach the name with Lushan, so more people would be interested to visit this place.
今天这个九江天气也非常热啊，35~36度。刚才在底下大太阳。其实我们这个当时呢，我们
And today is also very hot in Lushan, with 35 degrees Celsius.
下一次呢，我们再有这种类似于这个景区的直播呢，我们可以考虑把时间定在这个太阳快落山的时候。
So the next time when we are giving a live stream report to you, we may start the program at sunset. And at that moment, the scenery may be more attractive to you. And in our communication group, a lot of local people are showing up.
是北方语系的地区，所以呢，他们说话呢，尽管说
And Zhejiang City is the only one in the province that has a dialect belonging to the northern language system. So for us, people from the northern China, it's very easy for us to understand the local language in Zhejiang. And many local people, they say that they are very proud of the local environment protection. The quality of the environment is very good, and mountains are very green, and waters are very clear. That's why we say that a very high quality environment equals a big fortune for the people. Today, the development of this scenic spots is still at a preliminary level. Later, we may be expecting more and more tourists in this area. So we sincerely hope that people visiting this place could be polite and also be aware of the environmental protection. Along the river of Yangtze, we have 11 important provinces and cities. During the development of the tourism site, we have also paid attention to the protection of the environment. And according to the comments, a lot of local people from Zhejiang. So if you have any extra information to share with us, please do not hesitate. For example, the local food. We know that in Zhejiang you have very unique food style. This is a main road in front of us for tourism. And just now I have also seen a signal showing that there is even hot well here, the thermal spring. This is Zhelin already.
对，我大山西，其实有网友说我大山西，其实我一开始念这个庐山西海啊，叫庐山西海景区，其实是不对的啊，那叫庐山西海，它是在几个县的中间。
The name of this area is Lushan Xihai. And here we have not only beautiful waters, but also a forest-covered mountains. In ancient times, the scholars and intelligent people, they love to visit places like this with beautiful lakes and mountains. And here in Zhelin, we have both of them. Now with the vehicle, we are mounting them we are mounting the hill. So later, we need to go downsize again. From the top of the hill, we can have another angle to admire the beautiful scenery. Because in the past, when I was only watching the video and reading the photos, I was already totally attracted by this beautiful scenery. This is the first time for me to visit in person. I didn't go into details in the preparation of the visit because I'd like to keep my curiosity. And now I'm not disappointed at all by the authentic scenery. And for the famous poets in the ancient times in China like Huang Tingjian and Li Bai, I don't know if they are still alive today, what are the poems that would come from them? We are still in the mountain area.
对这种风景名胜区的直播呢，其实并不是很多。像这样一个机会呢，非常难得。我来做这个直播呢，也是过五关斩六将。
It's not very often for us to do a live stream program in a scenic spot. And after rounds of selections, I'm very luckily selected.
这个要求比较高，因为它是纯玻璃的一个展示的地方。这个
And for this visit, you could not be overweighted because later you have to go up to a 99-meter glass sightseeing tower. And it's not very often for us to make a tour while working. It seems like I'm working and taking my vacation at the same time. For the whole program, we have lived in the big boat for a lot of days, starting by the municipality of Chongqing, and we have traveled with the Yangtze River to finally get to Shanghai. And it's also very rare for us to set our foot on the ground.
那这个海岸线呢，就比我们的大海那个海岸线呢，尽管没有那么开阔。
And now we are moving along the coastline, the so-called coastline of the Xihai area.
你可以先给大家介的这个水库里面有特别多的这个一田不知岛，因为当时介绍过啊，它之前呢是一个水沟，其实没有这么大的水，把这个浙林。
Before the construction of this reservoir, here there was only a small ditch.
不好之后呢，水越来越多，聚集到沟里的所谓小岛一样的地方。我之前看照片呢，如果我去这个西海漂流，这儿有一个。
And gradually, we have more and more flags inside.
也是我们之前看视频看到过。
That's why we could see this beautiful scenery with the large water surface and small islands.
现在可以看，就是像一个小岛一样，特别有意思啊。现在可以看，就是像一个小岛一样。
And now you could see the little islands. It's very interesting.
好，不好意思啊，我们刚才我们这个直播清流给断掉了，现在我们是恢复了。我最精彩的一段。
Sorry for the bad connection. Now we have restored the signal. Maybe you have missed one part of exciting introduction, but it doesn't matter. Later, I will repeat to you what I've said before. Now we could get off the car, and we will walk towards the port. Lushan is a favorite spot for summer vacation. Like other scenic spots, in Lushan, we can expect a lot of tourists. However, in this Xihai area, it's not very crowded. So at the same time, you can enjoy the beautiful scenery and you don't have to be in the crowd. And we have an expert to accompany us if you have any questions to ask. Mr. Zhou. His first name is Shoufeng. In Chinese, it means beautiful mountains. And it's also connected with your work. When I was born, our house is by the foot of the mountain Shou. That's why I've got my name. It's very interesting for the name giving in China. Sometimes from your name, you could already tell your future career. And my name is Li Ning, and from my name you could tell that I'm very good at sports. And now it's the summer vacation. However, we don't have a lot of tourists here. Yes, we have already considered this factor. When setting up this scenic spot, for example, the tourist center and the port of entrance and exit, we have already considered all the factors. Each day, we could have a capacity of tourist reception at 10,000 to 20,000. The most important one is the experience of the tourist. If it is overcrowded, then it will be very bad experience for the tourists. Yes, you have to be in a good mood in order to admire these beautiful lakes and mountains. So we want to avoid those very long queues. We don't have this problem, and to buy the ticket, you can use the machines. You can even command for a ticket and make the order on the internet. Now we understand that today's situation is not prepared for today's interview. It's like that every day. We have two ports. One is here, another is at Jinkou. At Jinkou, the situation is similar. And during summer vacation, for all the scenic spots, people are relatively crowded. Just now we have interviewed one of the original constructors of the Zhelin Dam because we think it is the beginning of the whole story with the Xihai area. Yes, and we are very proud of it. So many decades ago, the government has decided to organize more than 100,000 farmers, local workers, to construct this earth dam. It's no easy job, and it's a very intelligent decision. You may have to contribute several decades for the construction. However, the benefits would cover the next generations to come. Now we are going on board. Are we still connected? We are in the cabin. Let's go to the dock.
好的，我们为了这个信号啊，我们上甲板，这个体验应该，因为我们出来旅游嘛，就不要在船舱里再待了。这个体验，对，感受更好。在船舱里再待了。
Oh, let's stay on the dock. How deep is the water? According to the investigation, 45 meters. And we have a similar depth of water in the Qindao Lake. And it's very famous. First, the quality of the water is first class. We can directly drink. And inside the water, we have the single cell animal. This animal is very demanding for the water quality. From April to September, it's a reproduction season for them. It is the peach blossom jellyfish. By September, we would circle some of them for the sightseeing of the visitors. And for other fish resources, you also have a lot of them. In Jiangxi Province, talking about the Xihai area, everyone would appreciate that. And here, the fish grows at a relatively slow pace because there are no other stimulants and pollutants here in the water. In other places where there is a big lake, the fishermen may use the boxes to raise the fish in the water. And some people even come here for the fishing. However, it is totally forbidden here to use the cages to raise fish or to do the fishing in place. We have the police station to help us and make the regulation. And for many years already, it is forbidden to use the cage for the aquatic reproduction. And for those people fishing on the surface of the water, we have punished more than 300 of them.
面像这样的，我们现在可以叫小岛吧，这样的，就是以前的山，其实就是水打那后淹的。现在可以叫小岛吧，这样的，就是以前。
Those are the smaller islands, right? It used to be the smaller hills, but later flooded by the water. Because it is an artificial lake. In the 1960s and 70s, after the construction of the Earth Dam, we used to have residents living in this area where we have the water for the moment. And we have to change their residence, move them to other places to live. And now this region has been flooded. So those smaller islands, actually they are the tops of the hills. According to the calculation, we have 1,667 islands with a surface above 3 mu. Here the ecological system is very good. We have very well planned development of the islands. It's in the middle of the lake. Among the 1,667 islands, only 30 of them could be developed as tourist sites. For the majority of the rest, we will not touch them. So our strategy is to protect most of them. Protection is the top priority for us. And according to President Xi Jinping, a good environment is a real fortune for the people. The local people are also benefiting from the good surrounding environment quality. And the biggest fortune for us is what we possess here, the beautiful lakes and mountains. The water quality is so good, it's deep and clear, and the air is also pure. And a lot of oxygen. Sometimes when the water is extremely pure, you could see to the depth of 9 to 10 meters. And according to the promotion advertisement, you don't have to go to the Maldives. You can directly visit the similar scenery in China, that is the Lushan Xihai area. And you can drink as you like here because the quality is so good, it's first class. So for a lot of visitors coming from Beijing, Hebei Province, and northwestern part of China, when they are here, they are amazed by this beautiful scenery. They are amazed by the beautiful scenery of the motherland. They have drank very proper water here, and they have enjoyed the very clear air here. The visitors coming from Hebei Province, Jiangxi Province, and even from the capital city Beijing, they want to stay here, they want to rent a house here, and they don't want to leave anymore. Now we are about to move towards the center of the lake.
当时我记得有一个小艇在这个绿色岛中间穿
And
行的
now
那
I'd
种感
like
觉，
to
大家可以感受一下。
invite our colleague to show you at the same time the beautiful scenery that we have captured before.
Wang Junkai， 看我们的王俊凯，非常敬业啊，一直在。王俊凯，看我们的王俊凯，非常敬业啊，一直在给大家展示这个风光美景啊。好，我们现在缆绳已经解下来了，我们要开船了。
Our colleague, Mr. Wang, is working hard and he's showing at the same time the scenery that we have captured in the footage.
所以说这样一片海呢，就像刚才书记这个邹书记说的啊，他们其实保护的压力也是非常大的，既要发展又要保护，所以呢，就看这个
According to Mr. Zhou, they are under pressure for the development of this area. At the same time, you have to attract more tourists. At the other hand, you have to pay attention to the protection of environment, so you need to strike a balance between economic benefits and environment protection.
穿行在小岛中间啊，绿色的小岛中间。
Now we are traveling on the surface of the water. We're about to go through different islands.
现在问一下后方啊，是不是没有马流了？我们现在在手机上看到好像是马流，是不是没有马流了？消失了。在手机上看到好像是马流，有画面的，没问题。
I'd like to check with my colleagues to see whether the connections
没
are
画面的时
good.
候，家里面后期会告诉我们的啊，所以不要紧张，我们尽量把这个这条旅游线路上的这个景色呢
Once
完整
there's
的
a
展示
problem,
给大
please
家。
notify me. We'd like to show you
这把它
the
凉快
whole
了，这一
picture,
路晒的。
the panorama of this whole route of tourism. Now we are under the sun,
好，这个我们
but
转
before
转
long
方向
we
看一
can have
看
a shade.
船头，看这边。要不我们就去驾驶舱看一看。
Let's
驾驶舱
turn the
是
boat,
封闭的空间，
change a little bit the
可能会有一些
direction.
信号上的干扰，我们还是在这个位置来看一下。45米水深啊，这个地方平均水深45米，你想想这个。
Let's see towards this
现
direction.
在你看到的这些绿色的
The
小岛，
average water depth is 45 meters.
然后它下面的45
It
米被
means
水淹掉，
that
所以呢
those
形成
little
这样一个绿
islands
色的
that you
小岛
could see for the moment, they are the flooded or the half flooded hills with a height of more than 60 meters. We have more than 1,600 little hills like this flooded by the water. To my right hand, over there, it is the Zhelin Dam. It looks so small at distance. However, it's all thanks to the construction of the dam over there, the small dam, that we can have this large surface of water as the Xihai of Lushan. People working on the construction field so many decades ago would never expect this beautiful scenery nowadays. And the senior 10 that we have communicated with before have joined us now. At this point, it looks so small, the Zhelin Dam. Yes, and the total length is 550 meters. I've told our viewers that in the past we've never imagined that today we could have this. And it's thanks to the hard work of more than 100,000 people, including you. At that moment, we have more than 100,000 people working on the dam. None of us has ever expected such a big success. If we had at that moment a construction group, then you were all shareholders. And many of the constructors, workers on the dam have visited this beautiful place. Most of them are farmers. Maybe until today they still haven't got a chance to see this beautiful scenery by their own eyes. After decades of hard work with the dam, you are bringing the benefits to the next generations to come. The total storage of this reservoir is about 1/4 of the Poyang Lake, and the Poyang Lake is the biggest of its kind in China. And the length of the water here is at the same level as the Qiandao Lake, 45 meters. The water quality has been very well protected, and the ecosystem too. Here you can never find a cage for the fish raising, or you cannot find the fishermen either. The fish produced here has a very good taste because they can keep a very slow pace of growing. Over there is the big tower, it's a glass tower for sightseeing. Not everyone has the courage to get up there. This is a small island. It's actually a mountain. Here is the peak part, and the valley has already been flooded by the water. When there's these big flux of water here, you can only see the tops of all the hills. We don't know when there's the big flooding. There are still animals on the hills. In this case, they have to stay on the top forever. In Australia, we have the similar cases. That's why we have the unique species of animals in Australia.
其实呢，刚才这个，我看有网友说啊，当时我们刚才说了个笑话，说这个庐山西海景区第一眼乍看上去好像是庐山西海景区，然后呢，很多网友说呢，这个山西哪有这样的海？的确啊，我是山西人啊，这么大的水面在山西真的是很少见。但是山西也是海啊，山西是湄海，我们有湄。
You have to read the name in the correct way. It's Lushan and Xihai. Here, when you put the character Shan and the Xi together, it means another province. It's not correct, and in Shanxi Province, you cannot have a big lake in this size. Over there, you have a bigger island.
1000多个是整个5平方公里以上的，好像是有那么100来个，1平方公里以上的有1000多。1平方公里以上的有1000多。
We have more than 100 islands with a surface above 5 square kilometers. And here we are in front of the glass sightseeing tower with a height of 99 meters. You need to be courageous in order to climb the glass sightseeing tower. It's 100% secured for the visitor to see the tower. This is the first information you'd like to give to the visitor before he starts to mount. And then, arriving at the top, he would be attracted directly by the beautiful scenery. He would forget the height. You would feel that you are walking in the sky. Okay, let's get off the boat and go back to the land. We say that on the top of the glass sightseeing tower, you can have the three-dimensional sightseeing position, and it seems like you can have 720 degrees of angles of view. We are getting off the boat. As we mentioned before, the tourist experience is very good. In other scenic spots, you may have to queue for half an hour in order to get on board and get off. But now you don't have to wait any second. It's immediate and efficient. In continental China, in other places, when you have to wait for the boat, usually the queue would be very long. And now you don't have to wait, and you are always in a very good mood. We think it's a must when you are visiting the natural scenery with the lakes and mountains. And the tower is referred to as the Pearl of Xihai. Here's a small shop here. And this is a statue of the Dragon King. Since when you have the tower, the construction is since last September. Now it's still in the experimental period. Now the operation has not yet been normalized, and it's very popular among the tourists, very well accepted by them. On the top of the glass sightseeing tower, you would be amazed. It's like you are totally incorporated in the beautiful scenery, and you are one part of the nature. In other scenic spots, where there's also a glass sightseeing tower, you would be frightened to see that height. However, here you would be relaxed and you could feel free to enjoy the beautiful scenery, and you yourself become part of the scenery. The form, the appearance of these glass sightseeing towers looks like the water cubic for the Olympic Games in Beijing. It's a steel architecture. The first impression that I have in front of this glass sightseeing tower, I think we can put a room for the broadcasting on the top. We have to use the shoe cover so that the floor would not be too slippery for us. Later we are about to enter into the elevator. Please do not worry. Our signal will only be cut for a few seconds. And after that, a whole new world in front of you. We're about to do everything we can to arrange the signal thing so that the program would not be cut in the middle. Now we are still connected, right? You can see that we are moving upwards. I was saying that maybe there are some animals blocked on the top of the hills. For those who can swim, they can leave the top of the islands. For the others, they have to stay there. Yes, a very big biodiversity on each island. They have formed their own biological chain there. You have to be really brave to stand here. I think that you would like it. It's like you're walking in a beautiful drawing. Before you still remember, there's a part of the introduction missed. Actually, this program is very attractive to all the colleagues among the journalists. You have to go through rounds of selections in order to be chosen. And you have to be lightweighted in order to get the task, because finally there's one part that is to mount on the 99-meter glass sightseeing tower. 99 is a very lucky number in Chinese culture. And another consideration for the height of the tower is that once it goes above 99 meters, then it's more demanding in the security facilities, more complicated for the construction. Now we will stop the talk and give you several seconds to admire this beautiful scenery by your own. It's like the small pearls scattered on the surface of the water. According to the scholars, we say that Xihai area is like a big painting, and it's a very attractive destination for the tourists. We know that in history, a poet and also a scholar, Huang Tingjian, he's good at water control, engineering programs. Also in ancient times, Li Bai and Wang Anshi, the other poets and scholars, they have also traveled to this area. However, in the past, because we didn't have the big dam, we don't have this beautiful scenery. Usually tourists would be deeply attracted. Over there, you can see the smaller yachts. They are like the chains connecting the pearls. We've used the drone to capture the beautiful scenery from the sky. It's a very harmonious coexistence of nature and man. And I'm not afraid standing there. Over there, just under our feet, is the cloud. So we are already walking above the clouds. That's why we say that we have 720 degrees of view here, because you can look around you and up and down. The little girl is not at all frightened. And in our television station, we also have 3 platforms like this. However, when we look down from that platform, also made of glass, you could only see the rows of vehicles.
个哪个小岛，像那个小岛上就可以上人了，是开发过。
对，这些一片上小岛上可以。
Over there, you have access to the little island, right? Yes, tourists could set their foot on the smaller island just for sightseeing.
看他一直不敢迈出他的第一步，不敢眼镜这。
That tourist, he is afraid to move towards this part.
第一次来可能需要一定体重，这说明对自己的这个体重还是比较有清醒的认识。
应该弄一个，好多全国现在还有一种新的玩法，就是这种玻璃栈道，一踩上之后它会裂的那种，突然一种那种，你知道见过那个栈道
And in other places,
无地效果。
where there is also glass sightseeing tower, they have special effect.
"对，我觉得啊，这个玻璃下面应该弄一个感应的电子秤。
Because we know that when people are standing by the edge, they have the tendency to drop. So security is also an important factor to consider.
祝大家减肥。滋哇乱叫的不敢上的，基本上在下面扔。 对，就没有上到这一步的，基本上，只有这么一位同志不敢迈出第一步。
Not everyone have enough courage to come to this point.
是吧？
When someone comes up, they may be stopping there, and they are not afraid to move forward to the edge of the tower.
体重太大，拖不动。
Let's have a try.
行，那我们的不知道大家看够了没啊？如果这个看够的话，我们直播就可以考虑。
I don't know whether you are still absorbed in this beautiful scenery.
这个如果大家不知道网友看够了没啊？看够了，我们就可以考虑收了，因为这个实在是太热太晒，唯一的缺点。
I don't know if you've had it enough. It's really hot here. Just the sunshine is so strong.
后方插一段我们这个航拍的画面吧，就是我们
So by the end of today's program, we'd like to show you the footage that we have captured. And that is about the end of today's program. Thank you for staying tuned with us to admire the beautiful scenery of the Lushan Xihai.
没有，来把这先放你这，我这没兜，塞你的包里去。
哪个？这个？这谁手机？